In stereo, this is Southern California's #1 rock and roll oldies station, KRLA, Pasadena. Go!
Get out of that bed, wash your face and hands. Get out of that bed, wash your face and hands. Well, you get in that kitchen, make some noise with the pots and pans. Well, you wear those dresses, the sun comes shining through.
AM 1110 in stereo. I can dig it. Lucky Lips, Ruth Brown, and she's here in person. Then we heard from Joe Turner, Shake, Rattle, and Roll. And I just want to mention before we start talking to Ruth that Big Joe Turner will be at the Music Machine in West Los Angeles tomorrow night. Tribute to Joe Turner. Ruth Brown, out of sight. How are you?
I'm just fine, Jim. And you?
Oh, I'm great.
Yes.
Love hearing Lucky Lips again. It was such a big hit for you in 1957. And the memories and the magic that you conveyed to all of us. I'm glad you're still around and doing it. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad I'm still around to hear you say I'm glad you're still around.
You've always been one of my favorites, and I want to share some memories the next hour with our listeners because you paved the way for so many people in the early 50s, and we're going to get to some of your hits right now. Was it great hearing that again, Lucky Lips?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
The one thing that I remember most about Lucky Lips is that I always wanted to do the Dick Clark bandstand at that time, which was coming out of Philadelphia. And this was the tune that allowed me the opportunity to make my first appearance on that particular show, was Lucky Lips, yes.
Let's go back in your career. Early 50s, 1950 through 51, you had a #1 rhythm and blues hit, Teardrops from My Eyes.
Yes.
And how did that come about for you?
Well, there was a staff writer for Atlantic Records called Rudy Toombs, and he came in and brought some material. And at that time, they did have writers who did specific things for specific artists, with them particularly in mind. And this happened to be one of the tunes that Rudy Toombs brought in. Originally, Teardrops started in a very, very laid-back tempo, Every time it rains, I think of you. Originally, that's the way it was going to be done. But, of course, somebody said, oh, that just doesn't groove enough, and they picked up the tempo and kept moving it until it got where it was. And I think that we made possibly no more than about 4 takes on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it turned out to be the one tune out of all the tunes that I've recorded in my career that stayed in the charts in the #1 position the longest. I think it was about 25 weeks in #1 position. Eat your heart out, Michael Jackson.
All right, let's listen now. Ruth Brown is my guest. This is Jim Pewter on KRLA. Teardrops from My Eye.
Every time it rains, I think of you, and that's the time I feel so blue. When the rain starts to falling, my love comes tumbling down, and it's raining telephone. I wanna love you, love you, love you, love you, love you all the time. I wanna love you, love you, love you, love you, love you all the time. I wanna love you, baby, if I live to 99. Just give me 5, 10, 15 hours of your love. Just give me 5, 10, 15 hours of your love. Give me 15 hours while that shining moon's above. I wanna hold you, hold you, hold you, hold you, hold you till the light. I wanna hold you, hold you, hold you, hold you till the broad daylight. I wanna thrill you, thrill you, thrill you till the sun is shining bright. So give me 5, 10, 15 hours there with you. So give me 5, 10, 15 hours there with you. Give me 15 hours and I'll prove my love to you. Well, if you ever think about me, Daddy, won't you let me know? If you ever think about me, Daddy, won't you let me know? I'll be your loving baby. You can be my so-and-so. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
AM 1110 in stereo. This is Jim Pewter. It's my original rock and roll show on a Saturday afternoon. Ruth Brown is my special guest. 5, 10, 15 hours from 1952. Then we had Teardrops from My Eyes. Sounding good. Look at this photo I found of you, Ruth. Yeah, sitting there with your nice-looking legs.
Yeah, showing my gams.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting to look back and remember all of that? I can't believe that I ever looked like that. You know, I wasn't too bad to look at in those days. And after staying in the mirror for about 4 hours, I can get by now, too, a little bit.
You're looking fine. We're gonna play "Mama, He Treats Your Daughter Mean." We play that a lot on KRLA, and that took off for you real quick, didn't it? I mean,
Yes,
just
it did.
like a rocket, as we say.
Just
Yeah.
amazing. And of all the things that I have recorded in all my years, that is the one tune that people, when they speak to me in person, inevitably they say to me, "Mama, he treats your daughter mean." That's the first tune that comes to mind for whatever the reasons, you know. But I think that is the tune that has caused Ruth Brown to have a little bit of longevity. People remember it, you know. And I'm thankful for that. So I continue to sing it, no
right.
matter how breathless I am when it's finished, you know.
All right, let's go with Ruth Brown. Let's make it 2 in a row, Ruth. We'll have "Mama, He Treats Your Daughter Mean," and then "Wild, Wild Young Men."
Oh, boy.
Oh, you ready?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it on KRLA.
Mama, he treats your daughter mean. Mama, he treats your daughter mean. Mama, he treats your can stand. What's the matter with this man? I tell you, mama, treats your daughter mean. Mama, he treats your daughter mean. Mama, he treats your daughter mean. He's the meanest man I've ever seen. While young men like to have a good time. While young men like to have a good time. While boyfriends like to lose their mind. While men dig me, but I love a cool one. While men dig me, but I love a cool one. To go home to when I've had my fun. While men hoop and holler and they yell ooh-wee. While men hoop and holler and they yell ooh-wee. They can scream and break down, but they don't kill me. Well, they can romp and stomp. Well, they can rock and roll. Well, they can do the funk. Well, they can thrill my soul. Well, they can drink the wine. They all wanna be mine. Well, mercy, mercy, ain't that a shame? Well, mercy, mercy, ain't that a shame? While young men scandalize my name. All of my girlfriends, they wonder how. All of my girlfriends, they wonder how. How I make these young men go wild. Well, I just clap my hand. Well, I just wink my eye. Well, I just whisper, baby. And I just heave a sigh. Well, I just roll my hips. And I leave them high and dry. While young men, they must confess. While the men love me, they must confess. When I tame one, that'll be the man.
You're listening to the best of Ruth Brown, Wild Young Men. And this is Jim Pewter. And then Ruth sang from 1953, Mama, He Treats Your Daughter Mean. You're going to be celebrating a birthday tonight and performing at the Vine Street Theater. Want everyone to come on out. It's your 40th anniversary in show business. Huh?
Yes, that's right. 1945
Wow.
to 1985.
So come out tonight, Vine Street Theater in Hollywood, and see Ruth Brown. And bring presents.
Wrapped in gorgeous paper and ribbons.
Ruth, I have a tune coming up with Chuck Willis, who wrote several hits for you also.
Mhm.
And one of his biggest came out in 1957, C.C. Ryder.
Mhm.
Always liked Chuck Willis, and he died very young, as you
Yes,
know,
he did.
30 years old.
Yes.
Any special memory comes to mind with Chuck? Because not only was he a good vocalist, but I always respected his writing.
Yes.
Yeah.
The same was the case with me. In fact, I remember touring with Chuck, and in those days we did package shows that included sometimes 5 and 6 of the top rhythm and blues artists. We travel on a bus together. Nobody had the big cars yet. You know, it was a family situation. And Chuck and I were sharing a seat on the bus. And he had a habit of just taking a pencil, scribbling tunes while we were traveling. And I said to him, Chuck, when are you going to write a tune for me? And he said, oh, you're serious? I said, I really want you to do a tune for me. And so he said, well, what kind of a feeling do you want with it? I said, I don't know. I said, how about something with maybe a combination of a blues and a country western feeling, because I liked country western also at that time. So he started to scribble this tune on a brown paper bag that he had a sandwich in. That's where it started. And he wrote it on this brown paper bag, and he gave it to me, the lyric. And he said, I'll get with you and get with Lee Anderson, who was my piano player at that time, and tell him how the melody goes,
That was Oh, What a Dream.
Oh, What a
Okay.
Dream.
What we're going to do, we'll have Chuck's biggest hit as a vocalist, C.C. Ryder.
Yes.
And then we'll do the tune he wrote for you, Oh, What a
Marvelous.
Dream. All right. Coming up, Ruth Brown with Jim Pewter on KRLA. Right around the corner, Chuck Willis.
I've done it all, Mr. Gar, and I do it again exactly the same way.
She had dark, hungry eyes, the kind that drive men to the ends of the earth.
I have a very big appetite, Gar, and at Shakey's luncheon buffet I get it satisfied fast.
She scanned the luncheon buffet like a panther ready to pounce.
Where else can I get such a variety of really good food for so little money, Mr. Gar?
When I didn't answer, she teased me with a cucumber slice dripping with dressing.
Salad bar, sure, every time. But I also go for Shakey's homestyle soup, mojo potatoes, garlic bread, pizza. Mr. Gar, Shakey's pizza is good. Very good.
Her hand moved slightly across the table.
Then, depending on the Shakey's, I can have delicious fried chicken or spaghetti with meat sauce.
She was fast. I was faster. I wrenched something hot out of her fist.
Garlic bread, Mr. Gar?
We shared it. It was perfect.
Available Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. for about $3.85.
Okay, Fred, let's play Super Name That Deal. Your special category is cars and trucks. And here's the first question. Who is the fastest growing import car and truck company in America?
Mitsubishi?
Right, you are! Now, who offers the lowest price truck sold by an import dealer in America?
Mitsubishi.
You got it! And finally, what are the names of the two newest Mitsubishi cars?
Mirage and Goliath!
Congratulations, Fred!
Right now, everybody's a winner at your Mitsubishi Motors dealer because we're really dealing on the complete line of outstanding Mitsubishi cars and trucks, including the hot new Starion Turbo Sports Car. Come in now and name your deal.
Name your deal now at your Southern California Mitsubishi Motors dealer.
AM 1110, Stereo, KRLA.
Away, baby, and I won't be back no more. Yes, darling, going away, baby, won't be back no more. If I find me a good girl, I won't be back at all. Well, see, Ryder, girl, the moon is shining bright. Lord, Lord, see, Ryder, the moon is shining bright. If I could just
Woke up this morning and I looked around, so disappointed. I laid back down. Oh, what a dream, what a dream I had last night. Dreamed I held you in my arms, but I'm still waiting for that day to come. Oh, what a dream, what a dream I had last night. Dreamed we were walking down the aisle, the organ was playing. Here comes the bride. You looked down at me, you began to smile. When I looked around, everybody began to cry. I opened my eyes, you weren't there. All of my happiness just disappeared. Oh, what a dream, what a dream I had last night. I had last night.
Beautiful song on AM 1110 in stereo. This is Jim Pewter sharing the memories with Ruth Brown. That song was written by Chuck Willis, and then we heard from Chuck and C.C. Ryder. Oh, I like that. Just wanted to make note here that the Vine Street Bar and Grill is where you'll be performing. I said the Vine Street Theater. It's a theater, but we moved out of the theater, Ruth, into the bar.
Yes,
so,
fine.
And that's tonight. Your birthday, 40th anniversary for you. We want the people to come out and see Ruth Brown and listen to her, because this is the type of sound that they'll be hearing tonight, and you'll be doing some other special songs too, I'm sure.
Oh, yes. Well, I try to do a combination of things. There are really a number of things that I'm able to do because of the fact that I've had the privilege of being associated with some of the great, great artists of the business, and I sort of reach back in a sort of a nostalgic moment and do some of the things that I remember about them. You know, I do a medley of things from some of the female singers that I've worked with, Dinah Washington and Billie Holiday and Ella Johnson, Etta James, and I do some things that the fellows like Chuck Willis and Roy Hamilton, you know, Jackie Wilson, Percy Mayfield. I try very much to sort of keep some of that alive. That was my era. Those are the tunes that I know best, and consequently, I suppose I have not had much time to get into too much of the newer and contemporary things, even though my ears are not closed to it. I think there's fabulous music there. But at the moment, since I happen to be one of the last remaining females from my era, I think that I should take advantage of that knowledge that I have, the musical knowledge, because I do want the younger people to know where some of it really came from.
Okay, that's Ruth Brown tonight, Vine Street Bar and Grill. 2 shows, 9 and 11. Let's talk about Laverne Baker, another artist that was on the same label as you in the 50s, Atlantic Records. And you and Laverne, I always kind of look back on your careers sort of parallel as far as the chart records, but you're always, both of you, in the forefront doing the rock and roll shows, you know, with Alan Freed and touring.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And Tweedledee Dee we're going to play with Laverne. Yes. And, of course, it was covered by Georgia Gibbs, and that was going on a lot in those days, but... always liked Laverne Baker, and I know
Georgia was busy in those days.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, I never met Laverne, but I know you worked with her.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, where is she today?
Good question. In fact, I have been inquiring. Laverne, as far as my understanding, is that she went to Taiwan because there came a period where it was really difficult for the R&B singers to work in this country. You know, when the new music invaded the music scene. She went to Taiwan to perform, I understand, and she liked it, and she stayed. And she stayed there for a number of years, and I understand that only very recently she has come back into the United States. But wherever she is, she has not surfaced as Laverne, per se, because I've been hoping that we could touch base, because I thought it would be interesting if the two of us, which are about the only two remaining out of that era, could get together and do something together visible. You know, I'd like to tour with her. If she's in the sound of my voice, I wish she would contact me. I've been trying to find her.
Okay, well, let's find her. Let's bring her on right now. All right?
Okay.
All right. Tweedledee Dee, Laverne Baker. Ruth Brown is my special guest. This is Jim Pewter on KRLA.
Tweedledee Dee. Clickety-clack, tweedle-tweedle-tweedle-dee. Tweedle-tweedle-tweedle-da. How you gonna keep that honey you got? Hunkies, pieces bite. I'm gonna see my honey tonight. Tweedle-tweedle-tweedle-da. nothing else. I see so many men, it's like looking through a fine-tooth comb. I see so many men, it's like looking through a fine-tooth comb. But these young cats will make a good girl lose her home. I wanna go north, east, south, west, every which way, as long as I'm moving, 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 baby, I don't care. You got big broad shoulders built like a trailer truck. You got big broad shoulders built like a trailer truck. Let me run with you, Daddy, and maybe I'll change my luck. I got to watch myself, these boys are getting out of hand. I've got to watch myself, these boys are getting out of hand. They get 12 years old and start acting like a natural man. I wanna go north, east, south, west, every which way, as long as I'm moving, 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 baby, I don't care. Move, 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 move. Because mink don't feel that way. Well, it must be rabbit, because mink don't feel that way. Don't you talk that talk, don't believe a thing you say. I wanna go north, east, south, west, every which way, as long as I'm moving, long as I'm moving, well, long as I'm moving, long as I'm moving, long as I'm moving, baby, I don't care.
That's what we're doing, moving out with Ruth Brown. This is Jim Pewter on KRLA. Jesse Stone wrote that. Then it was Tweedledee Dee, Laverne Baker, 1954. It's great having you here, sharing the memories.
Oh, the pleasure's really mine.
Yeah. If you had to do it all over again, Ruth, is there anything you would really change?
I would suppose that I don't think I would change very much as far as the music was concerned, because I love that music, and the people that I work with, I love that. But I think that I would be a little more careful about my business. I'd be a little more businesslike, or at least have someone who had a little more knowledge of it, because as active as I was musically, that there is still proof of what my contribution was to the music. The rewards have not been substantial, let's just put it that way. And I appreciate at this late date the recognition that seems to be surfacing, irregardless to how it has been smothered for a while. It seems as though it's coming full circle again, and I'm very delighted to be around to hear some of the accolades and hear some of the young people who are now starting to do some of the material that I was involved in. I'm very delighted to be able to be around to hear that. I'm working now and rehearsing a show that's getting ready to be produced from Brooklyn Academy of Music, and they're going to do an anthology of the music of the 50s. In fact, they're going to start in the 20s with the dance and the music and work up to the 80s now. And everyone that they're simulating in the show, I'm the only one that they've been able to touch who's alive to come and stand and sing my own era. And so when they get into the music, the Ruth Brown music, I'm going to be able to sing it myself. So I'm happy about that. You know.
When is that going to be?
It begins February the 5th through the 10th at the Brooklyn Academy of Music. And their Coca-Cola has picked it up to fund it.
Good.
And there's a good chance that it might go national into theaters. We're hoping so.
All right. Next we have Brooke Benton, Dinah Washington.
Oh, yes.
Together. You worked with them.
Both of them very dear friends of mine. Dinah and I were very good friends. Didn't start out to be that way because we were competitive in a way. But once we met, we became friends. And I think that I was probably one of the persons that she did confide in because we were good friends. And Brooke Benton and I worked together many, many times, you know. But Brooke at this time also has been one of the persons who, unfortunately, the work was not available. So, not because there wasn't work available, but he has since become a minister. And he is now preaching in South Carolina, where he was from originally. But he has, on occasion, come into New York. In fact, I saw him about 3 months ago at the Old Smalls Paradise. And he did a concert there, and it was marvelous.
All right, that's an update on Brooke Benton.
Oh, yes.
And this is Jim Pewter with Ruth Brown. We're going to put them back together again, Brooke and Dinah, on KRLA. It's coming up.
Yesterday and Today is back on KRLA Sunday nights, bringing you up to date with some of your favorite artists.
All of a sudden, hats off to Larry, and I wonder.
Hi, this is Del Shannon. I hope you'll join me tomorrow afternoon at 5 for Yesterday and Today. We'll be playing all the old songs and some new ones as well, right here on the heart and soul of rock and roll, KRLA.
Well, now it takes more than a robin to make the weather go, and it takes two lips of fire to melt away the snow.
Well, it takes two hearts of cooking to make a fire grow. And baby, you've got what it takes.
Oh, yeah.
You know it takes a lot of kissing.
Tell me about it.
To make a romance sweet. Oh, it takes a lot of loving to make my life complete.
And it takes a lot, woman, to knock me off my feet. And baby, you got what it takes.
I said,
You know you've got just what it takes, because it takes more than an effort to stay away from you. It takes more than a lifetime to prove that I'll be true.
but it takes somebody special to make me say I do.
Oh, yeah.
And baby, you got what it takes.
You know you've got just what it takes, because it, yeah, oh yeah.
Go ahead, again, honey.
I like your spot.
To stay away from you.
I can't stay away. Come on, let's do it
It
again.
takes more than a lifetime, Daddy,
Yeah.
to prove that I'll be true. Now it's you.
But it takes somebody special
Like me, baby.
to make me say I do.
And baby,
You got what it takes.
say it again.
Come on, let's do it one more time, all right?
And
Baby,
you got
what it takes.
one more time, Brooke.
Papa tootie tootie, Papa tootie tootie, Papa tootie tootie, pop.
Somebody touched me in the dark last night. Somebody touched me in the dark last night. Somebody moved me with all his might, thrilled my soul when he held me tight. Who in the dark last night? Last night a stranger just held my hand. Last night a stranger just held my hand. Last night a stranger last night. Somebody made me fall in love last night. Well, he said pretty words as he stroked my hair. It was no dream 'cause this man was there. I found my love last night.
AM 1110 in stereo. Ruth Brown with Jim Pewter on KRLA. Somebody Touched Me, 1954. And then we had Brooke Benton, Dinah Washington, Baby You Got What It Takes. You know, getting back to Somebody Touched Me, that was also a hit for Buddy Knox about 4 years later.
4 years later.
Yeah.
Well, I worked with Buddy Knox on a Alan Freed show at the Paramount, and that was one of the tunes, you know, that I was doing during that time. So it's good. Yeah, he did cover that, but he was kind enough not to do it until a few years later, not while I was doing it, you know.
Let's talk about the time your first major break when you were on your way to, was it the Apollo Theater?
Yes, from Washington, D.C.
Yeah, and tell me about that.
Well, Blanche Calloway, as I said, had made arrangements with Mr. Schiffman to have me come into New York and make my first appearance at the Apollo Theater as a new find. And originally, I was supposed to appear on the same bill with Billie Holiday, which to me was, the most fantastic thing that could possibly happen, you know. But as it turns out, at the very last minute, we got a call from Mr. Frank Schiffman saying that Miss Holiday had decided it would not be to her best outlook to have another female on the bill. So they changed my booking to the following week. And I was supposed to appear with the Dizzy Gillespie at that time. So we were driving, coming from Washington, D.C., to be in New York for a rehearsal that Thursday afternoon, October the 29th. At 4 o'clock in the evening was a rehearsal call. And we were outside of Philadelphia in a town called Chester, Pennsylvania, at about 9:15 the morning of that day. And I was asleep on the back seat. I don't really know exactly what happened, except that I just heard a screeching of tires, and before I was aware of what was going on, I just felt a thud and an excruciating pain, you know. And I remember the next thing that I was conscious of, I was hearing voices, and they were saying, "The girl on the back seat is dead." That was me. And they took everybody out of the car and left me until last. So when they did finally come back to get me, the first thing they did was try to pull me out. They grabbed my legs. My legs had folded up under me, and that was when they realized that I was really a singer with a great voice, because I understood that I hit high C above C. Like I've never done that again in my life. But they said they heard me all the way back in D.C., you know. So I was hospitalized. And I stayed in Chester Hospital nearly a year. And it was on the hospital bed that Atlantic Records signed me up. Mm-hmm. Herb Abramson came down to the hospital and signed me. And that was one of the reasons when I went with Atlantic, I was already in debt to them, because they paid my hospital bills, you know. Mm-hmm. And when I did get to New York to record, I came in the studio on crutches. And the first tune that I did was So Long, with Eddie Condon and Joe Bushkin and Bobby Hackett. It was the first time the voice of Ruth Brown was ever heard of the airways, and that was my first record, So Long. Mm-hmm. But that's how it happened.
Yeah. Let's bring on a tune that Bobby Darin wrote for you. This Little Girl's Gone Rockin' features the sax of King Curtis. Mm-hmm. And this was a big pop record for you, summer of 1958. Got a good feel, and we'll play it, and then we'll talk about Bobby a little later, all right?
Yes,
all right.
yes.
Ruth Brown, this is Jim Pewter. It's my original rock and roll show on KRLA. Let's do it, Ruth.
I wrote my mom a letter, and this is what I said. Well, I washed all the dishes and I did a lot more. I even bought the dinner at the grocery store. And now, Mom, you find the key next door. This little girl's gonna rock it. I left some biscuits for the pup. I put fresh water in his cup. And now I'm off, I'm gonna live it up. For this little girl's gonna rock it. Well, I'll be home about 12 tonight. And not a minute later. Don't forget the front door light. But that's all for now. I'll see you later, mater. You'll find each thing that you wanted done. I'm off to meet that special one. And boy, oh boy, will we have fun. 'Cause this little girl's gonna rock it. I'll be home about 12 tonight, and not a minute later. Now don't you forget that front door light. That's all for now. I'll see you later, mater. You'll find each thing that you wanted done. I'm off to meet that special one. Boy, oh boy, will we have fun. 'Cause this little girl's gonna rock it. Yeah! This little girl's gonna rock it. Daddy, 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 love me strong. I don't mind it if it's all night, daddy. Daddy, 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 right or wrong. I'm gonna need you for a long time, daddy. Gotta love me, daddy, from now on. That's what you got to do. When you thrill me like you thrill me with a touch that always fills me with love, so fine. Ooh. In the morning when the clock strikes 4, you're the lover that I'm going to depend on. To love me, daddy, never let me go. That's all I ask of you. I'll try to show you how I need your two arms to hold me when I'm lonely. So tell me, daddy, are you going to thrill your baby like I want you to and love me, daddy, for a long, long time? When you hug me and you kiss me, give me love that I've been missing. I feel so good. Ooh. Daddy, 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 hold me tight. Want to feel your tender arms all around me. Daddy, daddy, while the moon is bright. Sweet, gentle, and kind. Hold me in the morning, hold me every night. Thrill me, daddy, thrill me, till I scream with all my might. Ooh, a long, long time. When you thrill me like you thrill me with a touch that always fills me with love, so fine. Ooh. Daddy, daddy, you're a real consolation. Daddy, daddy, you're a real sensation. Daddy, daddy, we're a great combination. Daddy, 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 do. Daddy, 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 do. Ooh. Daddy, 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 do. Daddy, 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 do. Daddy, 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 do. Daddy, 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 do.
Ruth Brown with Jim Pewter. Daddy, Daddy. Then we had This Little Girl's Gone Rockin' on KRLA. Bobby Darin wrote that hit for Ruth. And Bobby was very talented. Always liked his work.
Yes, he was. He was a beautiful, beautiful human being. I remember Bobby when he used to come to Atlantic with a handful of material for other singers to listen to. You know, this was prior to the time. He was one of the young writers, like with Otis Blackwell and Neil Sedaka and Tony Orlando. All these kids were writers, writing for other singers at the time and bringing their material to Atlantic. And Bobby Darin was in one day when I was in listening to some Jesse Stone material. And he said, I got a song for you, you know. And I said, you're kidding. He said, no, I've got a song for you. And he sat to the piano himself. And he played this tune, This Little Girl's Gone Rockin'. And Ahmet Ertegun said, do you think you'd like to do that, Ruth? I said, I'd love it. I like it, especially the feeling that he had when he played. He played it with all the feeling and the rhythm, you know, unlike a lot of other things. So I did record his tune, and it was through that tune that Bob and I became very, very good friends. He did Splish Splash, of course.
Sure.
And, of course, when he first started singing, he was sounded a lot like Ray Charles in a lot of things. Ray Charles was his idol, too, you know. And then he started to play the theaters, like he was going to play the Apollo and the Howard Theater, which was predominantly black acts in those theaters. So when he got ready to go down to the Howard Theater in Washington, he said to me, you know, Ruth, I'm kind of nervous about going down that theater. And I said to him, well, I'll tell you what. Why don't I just go down with you? Because at the time I was Queen Bee, you know, at the Howard Theater and whatnot. And so for his opening, I was there. And I introduced him to everybody, you know, at the stage door, which was the little bar next to the theater where all the entertainers went. And I took Bobby in and introduced him to everybody and said, hey, you all take care of Bobby here. He's my bud, you know. And he was marvelous. They loved him. And over the years, we spoke on occasion. The last time he talked to me, he was working at the Copacabana with Irvin C. Watson in New York. And I was living in Long Island at the time. I had come out of the business to raise my children. And Irvin C. Watson called me one night, and Bobby got on the phone. He said, come in here. You come in and see this show. And I promised that I would. But unfortunately, I didn't get to come in. And I never saw him again. But musically, he was beautiful, and we were friends.
Want everyone to come out tonight. Vine Street Bar and Grill, Ruth Brown, 2 shows. Vine Street Bar and Grill in Hollywood, 9 and 11. That's 1610 North Vine. And it's your birthday today. Yes,
it's my birthday.
Happy birthday, Ruth Brown.
Well, thank you. Say happy birthday. Just don't try to light candles because you'll need a fire permit if you do. If you put every candle on there, you'll have to get a permit from the fire department.
Bless you, and thank you for coming by. We'll see you tonight at the Vine Street Bar and Grill, and you're looking great, and we'll continue to keep Ruth Brown, you know, on the airwaves, and we hope you have something new coming out soon.
Thank you very much.
All right. Yeah, Ruth Brown, and this is Jim Pewter on KRLA.
Come and get it. 8.8 annual.